All right, so my name is Bailey Morley. I'm going to get started with my presentation on the ninth grade curriculum for English language learning for not the diocese. I'm so used to being in a Catholic school. The school district of Philadelphia. So first we're going to start with the foundations. In my project, I decided to look at the high school English language arts curriculum for Philadelphia. As I did my student teaching in English at a Catholic school in Philadelphia, I found that it would be interesting to look at the public schools curriculum for English and see how it was different or similar. The first thing I looked for when evaluating the curriculum was philosophy. The mission statement for the School District of Philadelphia is as follows. The School District of Philadelphia will deliver on the civil right of every child in Philadelphia to an excellent public school education and ensure all children graduate from high school ready to succeed, fully engaged as a citizen of our world. So I have that stated here under Philadelphia High School curriculum. The Board of Education that helps to create this curriculum is made up of 9 board members appointed by the mayor and confirmed by City Council, and it's the governing body for both policy and budget. Then within that, there's its own curriculum leadership task force team in the Office of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment, which facilitates the development of the curriculum and making sure that the students have high quality standards-based curriculum. The deputy chief of this team is Christopher Schaefer, and the executive director is Latanya Miller. There is an assessment team, specialty teams for math, science, and social studies and gifted learning, and there is also operational staff for the curriculum team. I was surprised that there was no English language arts team listed for curriculum development on their website, but I'm sure there are people that are specific to organizing the curriculum for English language. The teams are made up of mostly past teachers, of people that have experience in the classroom. They are well-educated men and women from all walks of life, which all contribute to one common goal. The philosophy of the district is based in 4 anchor goals. These goals are the foundation of the school system and the action plan going forward in revitalizing the school system. The first goal is that 100% of students will graduate ready for college or career. The second goal is that 100% of 8-year-olds will read at above grade level. The third goal is that 100% of positions are filled by great principals, teachers, and employees. The fourth goal is that 100% of funding for great schools is secured with zero deficit. So these are the goals that the school district is aiming towards in developing a future-looking school district in how we're looking at the curriculum, but this is the foundation to expressing that curriculum and to understanding it more fully. How are we going to do that? Well, by helping our schools to perform at the best that they can. I then looked at the English 1 grade 9 curriculum year at a glance. This covered the Pennsylvania Common Core Standards, the National Common Core Standard Correlation, the standard interpretation, and the objectives for the English language arts grade 9 year. So the curriculum itself is based in the Common Core and takes its standards from this model. Everything is based off of the Common Core. All the standards come from that. The website itself states under core subjects that subject areas are covered in accordance with the school district's approved core curriculum. All courses are aligned with Pennsylvania's academic state standards, as well as with initiatives generated by the district's strategic plan, Imagine 2014. So it works with the district itself as well as with the core standards in order to create the foundation of how the curriculum is set up. So now we're going to move into organizational elements of the curriculum itself within the school district. So overall, the organization of the documentation was very well organized. The documents and website were recently redone in 2017, and it's easy to navigate through the different tabs and systems that are represented. The flow of the curriculum works well together, although it was a little disjointed. The goals and objectives are understood through the Common Core and the Common Core of Pennsylvania. And there is a link to their website there, which is also well done and colorful and easy to navigate. So it's easy to get to the Common Core website and understand what the Common Core is about. These goals and objectives are nationally recognized and give a sense of universality and credibility to the curriculum for English language arts. By following this, the hope is that students across the country are having similar education in their English language arts courses. Benchmarks are noted in a separate area of the website. The benchmark tab lists 9 links in ways that benchmarks are used in the classroom and resources on benchmarks. The website states that online benchmarks are administered at the end of each term for students in grades 3 through 10. These assessments are used to monitor how students are progressing on the skills that were addressed during the quarter. Students whose data reveals the need for more practice or reinforcement are given additional instruction to mitigate the gaps in learning. So the benchmarks are what their aim is, what the goal is for. And these reports are noted to help teachers understand the mastery of students, understand where their students are at, and have an idea of how they're progressing within the subjects, and to give a report upon student testing. Each report summary is presented to show the data for the school, as well as give feedback to the curriculum itself. Is the curriculum meeting the standards, meeting the benchmarks that need to be met? These assessments are clearly stated on their tab in the Philadelphia School District website, and the curriculum itself is designed under content standards. So each piece of the curriculum is to meet the Common Core standards as well as the Pennsylvania standards. And it states on the website that these standards set high expectations in order to ensure that all students are college and career ready prior to graduation. So this is the goal. This is what the standards are for. And so the curriculum itself is aimed towards and organized towards helping students in the future and helping them look towards what they're meant to achieve in college and in career. It also has many resources for teachers to look at, including different textbooks that help meet these core standards, and so the teachers can meet the curriculum that they need to through Houghton Mifflin Harcourts and McGraw-Hill. But the teachers are given a lot of autonomy in how they mold their curriculum within the school district. There was no one set of this is the curriculum throughout the whole school district. It was these are the Common Core standards. This is what we want you to meet in Pennsylvania. How are you going to do that? Through crafting your own curriculum and designing it to meet those standards. So these 2 books have different book sets, have collections which allow for a bit of option within the curriculum. The schools themselves can meet what their students need rather than what they are aiming for within a whole school system. And I think that this goes hand in hand with Daniel Pink's theory of motivation, which we may not have covered directly in this course, but I think relates perfectly to this, of how motivation is the goal of motivation is that there's autonomy in the classroom, and that when there's autonomy, more will get done and there will be better success for both teachers and students. So I hope that the hope is that I'm seeing here, there is an understanding of reaching out to letting the teachers mold their curriculum based on these core standards. So now let's look at the content elements. So where does it come from? Where does the content come from? The content comes from the standards of the Philadelphia School District and the National Common Core, which we have stated. The year at a glance standards are broken into key ideas and details, craft and structure, integration of knowledge and ideas, and range of reading and level of text complexity. It is up to the autonomy of the teachers in each school to teach following these methods. The standards of the Common Core are as follows for 9th grade English language arts. So I'm going to go through and list some of the standards that are listed that the curriculum is molded towards. So in key ideas and details, cite strong and thorough textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says explicitly, as well as inferences drawn from the text. Determine a theme or central text of a text and analyze in detail its development over the course of the text, including how it emerges and is shaped and refined by specific details. Provide an objective summary of the text. Analyze how complex characters develop over the course of a text, interact with other characters, and advance the plot or develop the theme. So as you can see, these are all directed towards specific things that the schools should be doing, but it is up to the teacher to craft the curriculum to meet these standards. So that would be under key ideas and details, examples of how the Common Core standards are met. So what's interesting in these standards is the influence of action words that point to complexity and analysis for the student. And the hope is that the student will have mastery and will be able to complete these integration of ideas and standards as they go through the course. They are based in communication and in directing the student towards the mind and to the other. And they highlight the 21st century skills of communication for the workplace and direct the student to be involved in group work as well as in honest communication. For example, in following the curriculum, the student will be able to demonstrate the awareness of audience or analyze the role of standard American English in speech. This movement across subjects allows for fluidity in the content and allows for students to incorporate their own life experience in the standards themselves. Still, the content itself focuses more on distinct skills that are more directed towards the test and fulfilling the core standards rather than building up the students themselves. And for example, in the Common Core standard if the Common Core standard is write arguments to support claims in an analysis of substantive topics, excuse me, and the Pennsylvania Core standard is write arguments to support claims in an analysis of substantive topics or texts using valid reasoning and relevant and sufficient evidence, then there is an implementation for the teacher and recommendation to interpret this standard. This standard represents an opportunity for students to write with a sharp, distinct controlling point that clearly states a position and demonstrates awareness of task, purpose, and audience. Students must write arguments to support claims in an analysis of substantive topics or texts using valid reasoning and relevant and sufficient evidence. Students will write analytical essays, persuasive essays, personal essays, which are opinion-based. And this shows the importance of teacher autonomy. This statement from the Common Core and Pennsylvania at a glance English language arts curriculum shaper gives autonomy to the teacher because it gives an example of what to do, but the ability for the teacher to mold the class to the standard. Then from this, it is directed to the learning of the student. So the student will be able to prove an idea, opinion, or belief in order to create a logically written argument containing supporting claims. So they'll be able to do this through how the teacher creates the curriculum based on the Common Core standards. So this standard then in turn helps set up the student through the content for life outside of the school and for a possible career by molding 21st century skills in communication and understanding complexities. So everything is built from the Common Core through the curriculum to the student being able to express what they're being able to learn and then bringing that into the world. So let's look now at assessment, the assessment elements. So the content is molded to teach to the PSSA and Keystone tests for the Philadelphia School District. And these assessments are summative in nature, so they're meant to be at the end of the year in that they show how the students have grown throughout the year, but they show data in a formative way by carrying that from grade to grade. So as the student graduates, they're able to see how they did in their last year and how that will apply to their next year. Therefore, it's a formative assessment as well as a summative. So in the assessments tab on their website, it shows the schedule for the tests in advance, so they're all available there, as well as it gives the resources to the tests themselves with information on what the tests are and why they're used. Listed under the assessments tab is a link to the testing dates for the school district. The schools follow both the Keystone exams and the PSSA exams assessment in the curriculum. The content for assessments for Philadelphia is Jeff Robinson, so he would be the contact person. And the Keystone exams are designed for the end of the course and are assessments for algebra, literature, and biology. This is a crucial assessment for 9th grade curriculum in English language arts because it is a first year of high school and a good start to understanding the student's progress from both 8th grade to high school and then from as they begin high school on. So this is a test for K through 12. So we're looking just at 9th grade here. The PSSA testing is the Pennsylvania system of school assessment and is given in public schools K through 12. These tests are designed to give data to help teachers and schools to improve their proficiency in their curriculum and to cover what is adequate for each grade level. So are the teachers through their curriculum meeting the Common Core standards? Since the curriculum has the autonomy for the teacher to choose how their own classrooms are run, each teacher would follow their own forms of summative and formative testing within the classroom. So they'd create their own summative and formative testing. These aren't specified on the website or in how the curriculum for the whole school district is established. The whole school district gives the Common Core standards and says, here teachers work with this and create your own curriculum. Still, there's many options and links for teachers and resources in how to be implemented these assessments and the content and skills in the assessments. So finally, what is my critique? What do I think about the Philadelphia School District's curriculum setup? Overall, the curriculum content for the Philadelphia School District is more of a quilt and a follow these standards, but teach your own way in the classroom. The standards are what keep consistency throughout the schools, but the schools themselves can mold their teaching to best fit their students. The standards themselves are from the Common Core and are very clear and lead well from the 9th grade to the 10th grade, and they give good examples of how to implement and are a great foundation for the learning to take place in the classroom. Still, I found that overall the curriculum was very hard to understand on the website. Because it was so broad and covering such a wide range of schools, all directed to the same Common Core, I found it hard to understand the scope of the curriculum for one grade level without diving into each school individually. Because the school district is so large, this would be a gigantic endeavor in order to see how each school implements the same core standards. It was a good foundational website with a lot of resources, but did not give me insight into the day-to-day workings of each school or to the understanding of how the core standards are lived out through curriculum. It was I did not see any working philosophy or how the scope, sequence, or spiral played out through the high school years, only a brief glimpse into the standards that students in the 9th grade English language arts are meant to achieve. There were no specific learning activities mentioned, only general ways to implement the standards. The curriculum was basic rather than specialized because it gave the teachers the ability to craft their own classroom within the confines of the standards. Therefore, the content for the Philadelphia School District was vague and not helpful in a specialized look at the curriculum across the whole of the school district. Because everything points to the Common Core, it is vague and needs to be specialized in each classroom. The content is directed to the core more than to the students. The hope would be that the schools would direct to their students and use the Common Core as guidelines for how to best teach. Hopefully, teachers look to this website and to the goals of the Common Core in the 9th grade ELA classroom as a foundation and build off of it. But my fear is that it is very directed to the tests and teaching to the tests rather than as a springboard to deeper knowledge and college and career preparedness. Thank you.